Alright, I guess today is a day for dromedary stacking because I've just recorded a members only commentary on a drom stack game, not realizing that this one also began with a dromedary stack. So yeah, unsurprising I guess when it's one of my favorite units. But here in this particular run, we're going to skip over most of the early game. There's a lot of footage to show for me going for this particular challenge. So yeah, we're going to have to economize a little bit here and there. So the challenge we're going for is to try and get a full team of Skewer in Puppy Pack. And that is something that probably wouldn't be particularly difficult in customs. But in Puppy Pack, it becomes significantly more difficult because you do not have access to Cardinal from Star Pack. I guess technically you could get Cardinal by using Anglerfish. However, your odds of facing Cardinal teams when you get to, turn 9 and onwards is pretty poor. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a level 3 Chipmunk so that we can pill a Snapping Turtle onto the Chipmunk and then get some buyable Skewer in the shop. And that would seem like it's a pretty straightforward solution to this. However, the more you play this challenge, the more you realize that an all-Skewer team just is not very good. Clearly, we're going to have to scale everything up as much as possible, but the effect of having Skewer as your equipment when you have huge stats, there's only going to be certain teams where you can really hurt them with Skewer plus weakness from the bat, and a lot of teams it's just going to make no difference because they're going to have better protective equipment than you do. So we end up losing here on turn 9. We're also setting up with Toucan plus Axolotl, very good method of scaling units. Obviously we don't want to waste any buffs on the Chipmunk, so it's just going to sit in the back of the team and wait to be sold. We do want to get it to level 3 first though, because the more Skewers that we can get from one Chipmunk, the fewer Snapping Turtles we actually have to find. Because of course for every Snapping Turtle we need, we would also need to find a pill as well. And I've mentioned many times in the past about the difficulties you can have if you're going for a challenge that involves rolling lots of pills in the end game. So we're going to take the Mongoose for a bit more scaling here, although we do have the level 2 Axolotl. It's not going to be as good as many of the teams in Puppy Pack. Although I think here I am playing against all packs. Oftentimes you're going to be facing teams that have absolutely outrageous levels of scaling across the board. So anything extra we can take is going to be beneficial. Now, because we need the empty slot in order to pill the Snapping Turtle, it does kind of limit us in terms of the last member of the team. We can't really get rid of the Axolotl because we need it for scaling, and of course it's scaling itself at this stage. Unfortunate draw here. But yeah, we can't keep the lionfish. We can't bring in, a mantis shrimp and keep it. We have to get the level 3 Chipmunk first and pill the Snapping Turtle before we can actually get the 4th member of the team in and start scaling it. So I think I was going to give the chocolate to the Chipmunk there, but instead I went for the bat. The bat is obviously helping us stay alive because the weakness can be so powerful. It would also be nice to be passing something backwards that isn't salt, because salt on a bat doesn't do a whole lot. Now actually, as I record this, the update came out yesterday, so salt is now different. I think salt works like the old version of cheese, so it does double damage once. So this the version of salt that we're seeing on screen, where it just lasts forever and does double damage to lower tier units, is unfortunately gone from the game. I kind of wish that they'd saved that somehow. Salt is really something that you almost never see anyone take in customs anyway, but I think it does have some interesting applications. Maybe that's something that can come back in the future. But it does look like we're going to win here against Golden Pack, and actually the salt does something because the Golden Retriever counts as a tier 1, so the bat does double. Now here we find the Skewer, so we're going to pill the snapping turtle onto the chipmunk. And then once we do that, we can actually buy... okay, we're not going to pill it yet. Once we do that, we can actually buy the last 2 units of our team and start making use of some of the higher tier abilities. And of course, with the Skewer, we can have the toucan pass it backwards. And now you can see the benefit of having the bat on the team. It massively improves the efficiency of the snapping turtle. Now here, I think, do I end up pilling or not? What you can do is you can go for trying to get a level 2 snapping turtle before you pill. However, we're on 9 trophies now. So realistically, the chances of us getting everything that we need to set up the full Skewer team are incredibly small here. But we're going to go for it anyway. And I played so many games trying to do this. So yeah, any chance, however slim, we were going to try and take it. So I think what I'm going to do is actually bring in the snapping turtle now and then set up to try and tie. So I think what we're going to do here is maybe I should just pill this snapping turtle now so that we have space to find another pill, because clearly the level 3 chipmunk plus 1 snapping turtle isn't going to be enough. We still need to buy 2 more pets and pill another snapping turtle in order to get a full team of skewers. And of course I was looking for a full team where all 5 units had skewer. Clearly you could do this with only 4 units much more easily, so not quite as much of a challenge. But fortunately there we actually tied, so we managed to preserve the heart that we thought that we were throwing away. And unfortunately there was nothing useful from the anglerfish, so we're just going to have to roll down looking for a pill and another snapping turtle to make this happen. Now I do actually take the bat here, and I think I'm going to actually sell the chipmunk here and take the second bat, because if we have 3 bats, 1 level 1 and a level 3, sorry, 2 level 1s and level 3, that will guarantee cover the whole team, the whole opposing team with weakness. And bizarrely there I actually pass up the bat again, I guess because I know I need to find the snapping turtle in the pill, which I'm not sure if it's going to happen this turn. No, it doesn't. And actually, maybe I should mention that Chipmunk has been changed in the update as well. So the Chipmunk foods that it creates are actually free now instead of costing 1 gold. So this would be a lot easier in the new version, but of course I wasn't aware of that at time of recording. So here we end up getting the snapping turtle and a pill and a bat. So incredibly lucky roll. We can sell the chipmunk, which gives us 3 skewers. We almost overwrite the bat. Now we have to pill the snapping turtle. And then we're going to have just enough gold to buy another bat and then all 3 of the remaining skewers. Now one of the issues here is that now that all our units have the same perk, the toucan actually doesn't do anything. So at this point, unless we get ailments from the opposing team, the toucan isn't going to scale us. So even if we tied, our team is basically set now, and we can't really improve it very much, especially since there's not much stat food to buy in Puppy Pack. So here I'm just considering the options of rearranging, and I decide just to leave it as it is. Nice symmetry with the 3 bats as well. And we really need a good opposing team, and unfortunately it gives me this team, which, turn 18, it's not surprising. Golden pack with a level 3 baboon, level 3 bird of paradise. We just had no chance whatsoever here. Baboon has actually been changed in the update as well, so it's not going to be quite so oppressive in golden pack, which is nice. Now here's another example where we, very similar situation, we managed to get mantis shrimp in this one. But again, we come up against a huge scaled ostrich team, and it's a loss on 9 wins. And then here's one where I didn't manage to get the full chipmunk cell, so we couldn't actually achieve a full team of 5 skewers. And it was quite incredible how often I would get to the end with a team like this and end up facing a blowfish team. And so frequently I would lose, even though I ended up weakening the blowfish, usually because it was a camel healing the blowfish after every hit. So there was a turn 21 win with 4 skewers, but I just wasn't going to be satisfied with that. The whole point was to get a team of 5. And so here you can see we're on turn 14. We have just lost, so we're down to our final heart. We only have 4 trophies. So we've got a very, very long way to go in this game. But because we've had such a bad start, you do tend to play weaker opponents. And so, you know, all hope is not lost at this stage. And I think because of the bee, we end up scraping a tie. That honey being the last perk in the shop was incredibly lucky. So here we end up getting the level 3 chipmunk. We're not really in a great position to sell it, but I think maybe I'm going to have to do that anyway. And one of the disadvantages here, although I do have elephant seal plus sauropod going for scaling, it is kind of awkward because we can't buy the skewer onto the elephant seal until the very, very end. Because as soon as we buy it, we won't be able to use the elephant seal for scaling anymore. So we have to save it, keep it frozen in the shop, and then we'll only have 1 shop slot in order to actually buy perks for the rest of the game. And here the opposing Red Dragon team actually wipes the skewer on the backline units. And I think, yeah, it's going to be a tie against Troubadour actually. So that was quite fortunate there. Another YouTuber helping me out. I'll put a link to Troubadour's channel in the description. So we're just going to keep farming perks. And of course, Puppy Pack does have a very large number of perks. So even though we only had 1 slot open, it's not that unlikely to keep finding perks in the open space. The problem is now we've skipped ahead because it was an awful lot of turns of elephant seal scaling. We're on 8 trophies, still 1 heart, turn 20. We get the level 2 snapping turtle from all the snapping turtles that I've been saving up in the shop. And then we face this Star Pack team with huge stats from Hamster, and it ends up being another perfect tie. So now we have the time. We've got the pill ready. We need to pill the snapping turtle onto the mantis shrimp and the bat, and then find our last unit to bring in and give it the final skewer from the shop. Now there is Panther there, but Panther's stats are so bad to start with that I didn't want to take it. I would rather take something else that gives me a better chance of winning. We're actually going to buy 2 toy pets here. So I overwrite the Gharial toy with the puppy because the weakness from the toilet paper will mean that we're going to guarantee weaken 4 of their units. And now we bring in the base stats octopus, give it the final skewer. And now we're just rolling for lasagna and octopus and mantis shrimp level ups. The fact that the toucan's not going to do anything anymore doesn't really matter too much because we already have almost 50-50s across the board. We face opposing double axolotl panther and chili, but we end up just having enough to beat them. So now we're on 9. We have 1 turn left on the toilet paper. And I think here I'm just rolling for lasagna, which we do manage to find. It would be nice to be able to get the last 2 units at the back to 50 attack, which is I think slightly more important than 50 health. We don't get it, but I can buy the mantis shrimp and that will give us 50 attack on 3 units. And then look at this team, full level 3 team in Star Pack. We are on turn 22, so I guess it's not surprising that everyone has all 50-50s, or all level 3s rather. And because of that, it is going to be another draw. So now we lose the toilet paper. We've got 1 less weakness to apply to the opposing team, which is kind of unfortunate. But we do find a lasagna, so I can either take the 2 attack on the sauropod, which I think I'm going to do, yep. And hoping for more chocolate, but we don't get anything. We'll take another lasagna and then just buy the octopus and hope that 3 weakness will be good enough. And it actually gives us a surprisingly weak looking Pack 2 team. I guess at this point the pool is very empty because you're on turn 23 and it ends up being a pretty comfortable win for the full Skewer team. That took a huge number of attempts to get to that point. And then one last bonus clip. We've actually got this one where I ran out of gold, so I didn't manage to get the full team of Skewers, but we ended up winning regardless, and I got the level 3 Chipmunk achievement for anyone who is tracking the ribbons in the comments.